Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first installment of the Heely Gang Meeting podcast.
The Heely gang is currently meeting for the
Yes,
purposes of a podcast, and it is a glorious thing.
yeah, we're meeting right now as we speak, thus the name.
It's sort of intuitive.
Yeah, I think you could have gotten it. Uh, so the purpose of this podcast will be just for me to go over whatever topics I feel like. There won't be a recurring theme, really. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
talk my shit.
like for me, I just want to hear my voice and to feel important. So,
Oh, you're always important. This is.
speaking of our importance, should we do an introduction to
Yes.
those in the audience who are so unfortunate as to not know us personally?
Yes. If you don't know me, I don't know how you got here, but I am Sonic Heely Gang himself, owner and proprietor of the Heely Gang. And this is my lovely co-host, Mr. Jeeves.
Yes, that's me. I'm Jeeves of the Ask Jeeves fame of Twitter of like that's pretty much it. But
Yeah, if
I'm also here.
you've seen the bald guy on the Ask Jeeves icon, that's him. This is
That was a
him
long time
right
ago.
here. Yeah, he has hair now. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. How'd you grow back your hair, Jeeves?
Well, like all medical miracles, as a vegan, I have to attribute it to my plant-based diet.
Oh, yeah. Go vegan and you'll live forever, right?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. Whatever it takes to get you on board.
Yeah, yeah. I want to live forever.
I
So,
think that
oh, go
I don't
ahead.
know. In practice, I think it might be a bit challenging. The whole living forever as everyone around you dies and withers sounds challenging.
Yeah. But I think it might be worth it. Imagine all the things you could accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like I probably wouldn't like it, but I'm willing to take the chance. Like if someone's offering me eternal life, I'd be willing to see how it goes.
Yeah. It's like, I wouldn't want to be like Deadpool, though. Like the Earth is destroyed and he, like, kind of just floats in space.
I've never finished Deadpool, so I don't know if that's in the movie or
I
not.
I didn't either. I'm just making it up.
Okay,
I,
all right.
I think
Thank
that's
you for the
something.
clarification.
I think that's something. I have no idea though. But so I wanted to give a channel update because I kind of just disappeared for a month after the Ace Attorney video went out. Uh, I
Well, I
would.
mean, God had to rest on the seventh day, man.
So true. So true. But I was just kind of in a rut, really, is all there's to say about it. I had some ideas, but some of them don't always pan out. You have to go back to them eventually. But we're back, and I hope to be more consistent going forward. And I think soon, hopefully, we will finish the first Ace Attorney game and play Rise from the Ashes.
Rise from the ashes.
God, that'll be long.
It will. It
I
will be glorious, though.
Yeah, it's Ace Attorney's Odyssey.
Yeah, no, I really remember liking Rise from the Ashes. It
Oh,
is really long, but I do remember quite liking it.
oh yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna mute this group chat real quick. Okay. Yeah, it's really long, but I remember it being very good. Not as good as like the last case, but pretty good. I think it's kind of too long though. I feel like it could
Yeah,
stand to be shorter.
I'm sure we'll only feel that more so as we start working on it.
And I wanted to talk about you know, give some full afterthoughts on the first Ace Attorney game now that we're here.
Yeah.
What did you think about it? Like as a whole, all four cases together.
So I approached doing the Ace Attorney video with you after having played the first game years and years ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't fully remember anything. I remembered really liking it, and I came back to it also really liking it, but I think for different reasons than I did originally. And
Mm,
some of the things that I thought I liked, I didn't like as much. Overall, I really enjoy Ace Attorney. I think the characterization is done really well. I enjoy most of the pacing, but
yeah.
there's a lot that doesn't quite work. Like for example, on paper and really I do love the Steel Samurai case, but a
Mm,
lot of the actual progression of the case and like going around and making sure the right person has the right thing kind of takes the wind out of your sails a bit. It kind of forces you to pause what's otherwise a really cool narrative. Just to like, go to this location. No, go to this location. Okay, that's not doing it. Go. Let's try this location. No, and like that's part of the magic of Ace Attorney, but it's also I can see it being a problem for some people.
yeah, and I agree. I I didn't think that case was bad, but it certainly had some pacing problems. And you know, I feel like it could have just been a day shorter in total.
Yeah,
Like I feel like there's a lot of people who will just unnecessarily lie to you in that case.
yeah,
Like Will Powers himself. But
yeah. You can't let the big wigs at the studio get in trouble or whatever.
oh yeah, better eat the murder charge so that
So that these unnamed bigwigs can
yeah,
get off.
you never meet the big wigs. That's one of my criticisms.
Yeah, I didn't remember that, but coming back to it, that was a great disappointment.
Yeah, just unnamed big wigs. Like why even mention them if they're not gonna show up?
Honestly, there's so much like potentially really cool stuff in the Steel Samurai case, and I say this about a case that's really cool on paper. Like the Steel Samurai show is amazing, great world building,
Yeah.
but like the mafia at the end and these unnamed bigwigs, there's a lot of stuff that I wish was explored just a little bit more.
Yeah. And yeah, D Vasquez, her little breakdown, every Ace Attorney villain has to have this breakdown. Hers was kind of like lame, but it also kind of fit her character at the same time.
Did. No, I loved her breakdown because it wasn't what you would expect from an Ace Attorney breakdown. Like she was able to keep her dignity
Yeah,
throughout, I would say.
yeah, they were very reserved with her character, I would say.
Yeah, which is a rare thing for Ace Attorney, so I have to respect it.
Yeah, I have to say, I thought go coming back, because my situation was having played almost every Ace Attorney game but one, and then deciding to come back so that I could make the playthrough. I thought that the second case was kind of disappointing. and
The second case being,
that is Red, White, and
oh God, yeah.
Mia's death.
Oh, Turnabout Sisters, right?
Yes, I thought that was a kind of disappointing case. I feel like you leave a lot on the table with Red, White. He's like he's interesting, but then they don't do anything with him.
Red White was absolutely the wrong move to start Ace Attorney with.
Yeah,
Like, you're really starting off this young lawyer's whole career in a video game where you want to feel like everything's sort of important. But you start him off going up against a guy who like controls governments and corporations and is all powerful and owns the judge who you have to argue against. Like that's the bar that you're starting with.
yeah. There's no
It
like
doesn't help that like he doesn't feel that powerful either. Like he's
no.
because part of it's because it's the first case, but he still sort of feels like your opening villain, and
It's
that's
it's
doing a
cuz
disservice to the idea.
it's cuz he's so stupid. I think that's the problem. Like Red, White is just so dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like if you think about it in the grand scheme of the entire series, he's so important. Like he kills your mentor.
I know, and that's what I was gonna say. Like Mia deserved a better killer than Red White.
Yeah. I feel like you should have had Turnabout Samurai second and have Mia
Yeah.
still alive, and
Also
then
to give more weight to her death, because then it would mean more if you get to know her more.
yeah, and then have her die in the third case, and then your villain doesn't have to be as stupid because
Yeah.
it's still kind of the tutorial case. So Red, White kind of had to be stupid so that you're still kind of eased into the game.
Yeah, exactly. But you shouldn't be eased into like this all powerful behind the scenes blackmail master.
Yeah, and it just like there's no escalation, you know? It's like
Yeah.
you go from this random burglar to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all powerful, owns the government, owns everyone pretty much.
I know, it's insane.
And then you go back down to like, well, mafia's still pretty big, I guess, but
But it doesn't even feel like the mafia. Like
yeah,
throughout the Steel Samurai case, it feels more like a producer that does the might of the mafia or
yeah.
yakuza or whatever
The
it
maf
is
the
in whatever country
mafia
you're in.
shows up once and just kind of stands there. So it pretty much is the producer, I feel.
Yeah. I will say this for your Turnabout Sisters, though. I do really enjoy the supporting cast of Turnabout Sisters. I really like April May, obviously. Really like the bellboy who writes the affidavit.
uh,
Even what's his face?
Grossberg?
Uh, yeah, even Roseberry, I feel like adds a little bit to the world.
I feel like Grossberg is underused, honestly.
He is. He is.
After this game, I think he only shows up again in the third one.
Yeah.
As
And like,
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like you call him underused. I feel like that can be applied to pretty much every Ace Attorney character, except for like the ones who show up in half of all of your
Yeah,
cases, like Windbag or something.
yeah. Why old bag? Why is it always old bag? There's
I
so
would
many
love
characters you could use.
I would love to meet the writer who thought, you know what audiences want to see more of? That old lady from the Steel Samurai case.
Do, do you know what it is though? There was like a poll in Japan of like the most
It
popular
wasn't.
Ace Attorney characters. She wasn't number one, but she was like up there.
Are
She,
you kidding
she
me?
was like, I want to say in the top five.
Now, was this because they had already shoved her down everyone's throat, or was this in the beginning?
This, this is like a disconnect, I think, because Japan likes these, really weird characters.
I mean, so do I. I just wish that the really weird characters were the ones being like brought back again and again and again. And I wish the sort of boring old lady characters or the boring recurring photographer characters. I feel like these are the ones who could use a bit of a
Yeah,
break here.
yeah. I don't mind Lada as much because she is kind of a personality in herself.
I enjoy her as an example of Southern representation done right.
But Old Bag, I feel like I could have gone without ever seeing her again.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've talked about this before, but I really think that if you must bring back Goldberg again, flesh her out. Like she has stuff you could have done with. Like I would love references to her husband, to her loveless marriage, to how life has brought her to where she is now. And it doesn't need to be explicit, but if you must bring her back, give her a bit of depth instead of using the same tired old comedy routine every time.
Yeah, it's pretty much just, oh, she's in love with Edgeworth, and
Uh-huh.
he's freaked out every time by it. That's it. That's all there is to Old Bag.
That's a shame. But as much as Old Big frustrated me playing these games again with you,
Yeah.
there is a character who I just who I came away from this project with just a great deal of admiration and respect for.
Who?
That I didn't necessarily have before, and that is Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, he's so good. Playing it back reminds you he's so good after 2 games of him not being there, which is a crime.
It is so messed up. It is so messed up to get rid of him because he just adds so much to the first game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
He's a really necessary presence, and unlike many Ace Attorney characters, he has a really cool character arc.
yeah. And
Like there's depth there, there's humanity there.
honestly, his character arc gets even better in like the investigations games, which I know you haven't played,
I have not played those, no.
but
But now I feel like I kind of should because I want to follow this man's journey.
yeah, he goes through an entire journey in those games too, separate to the one that he comes through in this one. In that one, it's more like spoilers, but it's more about him becoming more competent, actually.
That's cool. That's great. That's something that, again, very few Ace Attorney characters get to have.
Yeah. And like by the last case, he actually goes out on his own and helps you, is invaluable in actually bringing down the final villain of that duology.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then like the other thing that I have to love about him too is that he just has this very common's maybe not the right word, but he has this very just like a basic sense of decency to him. He's a decent guy.
Yeah. So many times in Ace Attorney, it can kind of feel like people are just being rude
Yeah.
without a real cause. And
Yeah,
Gumshoe never feels that way.
no.
That is definitely something that I appreciate.
Yeah, more than anyone else, I would say that an Ace Attorney Gumshoe, he's just a good man.
It just, I feel like Ace Attorney is not Ace Attorney without Gumshoe.
It isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah, like you have like I'd say a main 4 cast of characters that should be like in every game, and that is obviously Phoenix. Although I think you could stand to go with him being like more in the background.
Oh God, are you a Apollo Justice apologist? Is that what you're saying?
Apollo Justice is not that bad.
So I will preface this with, having never played any of the Apollo Justice games and knowing very little about his character. However, I've seen the way he looks, and I don't like it. And I've heard the name Apollo Justice, and it's just the silliest name for a lawyer protagonist I've ever heard in my life.
I I have this like theory that it's like a fake name.
I had, like, if they took that and explored that and like at least acknowledged that, that would be kind of cool. That could make me sort of respect his character.
Yeah.
But to just assume that I'll believe his name is Justice, Apollo Justice, I'm just like,
To
uh,
it's not the worst name in Ace Attorney.
it's not. It's not. But like,
I mean, there
it's
was
too on the
a
nose.
victim literally called Dade Man.
Jade Man is an icon, a pillar of the franchise.
He
Okay.
is. He is.
Like
Um,
without the victims in this game, what do you have? You
that's
know?
true. That's true.
Like otherwise Phoenix Wright would have to like involve himself in child custody cases or something.
I want to see that though.
Oh God, I would love that.
I want to see like Phoenix Wright just helps Maya get out of a parking ticket or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or like someone slips and falls and he has to get them, pain and suffering money, something like that.
Yeah. What about like? So, what did you think about the fourth and quote unquote final case?
There's a lot to love about
Yes.
it. It feels very tropey in a lot of ways, but I think in a lot of really good ways. I love how it comes back to Phoenix's and Miles's and Larry's childhood. I love how you get to see that, how it all like you get the sense that it's all been connected from the beginning, which is cool. Like it is a bit of a trope, but it's cool to be able to see them come from there to here. And I like the sense of resolution. Even more than the first time, I also really like the relationship between Phoenix and Miles. Like there's a lot to love there.
Yeah. Just I it's gay, honestly. Can it
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
like going through law school just to meet this guy again? Like, come on.
And the way they look at each other, the way they talk about feelings or don't talk about feelings, like there's a romance there. And even like it's not something I know a ton about, but it's beautiful and I love it. And if you pretend that there is no romance between Miles and Phoenix, then you're just homophobic. We're really, really bad at media literacy.
Yeah, it's so true. I agree. So true. I mean, how can it not be? And that's why they never really gave either of them any kind of love interest.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, they gave Phoenix an ex girlfriend, but I don't like the connotation that this entire time he's liked women.
It just doesn't fit. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. It just doesn't fit.
yeah, it's just like
I, I,
weird.
I don't believe it for a second.
If
Like,
it,
having spent all this time with him, I don't see him as someone who likes girls myself.
yeah, it was probably an act. He was hiding. He was in the closet.
Yeah, I mean he is in like either Japan or America, and both of those places have had and have problems with, gay people. So
Yeah, and this was the early 2000s.
exactly,
Gay
exactly.
gay marriage wasn't even legal in America yet.
I want to see like a fan game where Phoenix has to like, you know, present his case for why gay marriage bans should be overturned or something similar to the case argued before the Supreme Court, you know? So
Fam-
like it's basically him having to take down, the things preventing gay marriage from happening, and then like along the way you realize how personal it is to him and his relationship with Miles comes into it. I think there's a lot of room for a fun fan game there.
yeah, I want that. Conservative Supreme Court Justice breakdown.
Exactly, exactly.
uh, you know what? I grew a big appreciation for Yanni Yogi
Yanni
as it
Yogi.
went through. Yeah, I
Yeah, Yanni Yogi and his parrot.
his parrot. The, the fucking parrot. What a moment.
I know, and Yanni Yogi is just like the heart and soul behind it.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot of pathos there.
yeah, and doing his voice was like, I think maybe the best part of the entire series for me.
It was a masterful performance. Salmonella was also really good,
Oh
but
yeah,
Yanni Yogi is either first or very close second.
yeah. Salmonella was good. I I can't appreciate him that much though.
I can. I think it's important that just as we have strong representation for Southern people, we also have strong, really true to life representation for children's media executives.
He is Dan Schneider.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, just like I put in my thumbnail, he is Dan Schneider, true and true.
Mm,
But then there's the big man himself,
I know. I knew we were gonna come to this.
Manfred von Karma,
Von Karma.
the first of two von Karmas.
I would argue maybe the lesser of the two Von Karmas. He's still very cool, very exciting, very dynamic character.
It's kind of hard to judge Franziska because
I mean,
she,
it's not that hard to judge her though because she's hot,
oh
which
yeah,
makes it a lot easier.
she's hot. Yeah, definitely. But as a prosecutor, I also do like her. But the problem is she's like in one of the most mid Ace Attorney games. And then
Is this going to be more turnabout big top slander from you?
it's not slander if it's truthful.
uh, no, back to Von Karma though. See, Von Karma is a great example of what they were missing with Red White, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Von Karma feels powerful
yeah,
in a way that Red White, despite everything he had going for him on paper, just didn't. You know?
yeah, and Von Karma has all those things on paper going for him, too. Like,
Yeah, like
prosecutor undefeated for 40 years. Like, that is insanity.
absolute insanity.
Like, can you imagine how many just innocent people have been like put to death because of Manfred von Karma?
The man's good at his job.
Yeah, but that's like, uh, I heard one argument, and it was like about someone in a later game not being given a retrial because it's hard to explain, but like it was pretty much proven that he was innocent, but they didn't want to give him a retrial right away. And I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
part of that is could be because of Manfred von Karma, his 40 years of false convictions.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just the nature of Ace Attorney, I think.
Yeah,
The legal system never really makes that much sense, especially the court system. I
yeah.
love how, like, motivation only counts for something, like a motive only counts for something when they're trying to figure out if someone else did it, but when it comes to your client, it's just assumed that they have a motive the entire time.
The motive only counts when it's in the prosecutor's favor.
Exactly.
I want to see a case where it's just like rigged in the favor of the defense. Just once.
Well, I feel like, I don't know, part of what I really remember and loved about the next game's final case, if I'm remembering correctly, is that you get a chance to kind of do that at the end.
Yeah.
And
It
I like the decision there. I like it as a really clear demonstration as to why Phoenix and the player by extension is different.
did you choose the guilty verdict or the not guilty verdict and let him go out and be killed?
I chose the guilty verdict as I recall
Yeah. I think
because it
I I think I chose to let him die, but it forces you to a guilty
right.
verdict either way. Cuz he starts screaming to be declared guilty. But yeah, I think I'm a little sociopathic kind of.
Yeah, I mean we all are. We all are.
Yeah, I chose to let him die on the streets.
Mm,
Yeah, and then about
the
the
last. No, go ahead.
about the case in general, it's like the plot for murder. I feel like there are some holes though in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, how could if someone was watching, how could they not tell the person that shot the gun was also the one that jumped into the water?
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
I don't know. Like, it's a really cool opening sequence
yeah,
in that final case with Long Carlo, but you're right. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
yeah. I
Which is
like,
fine. Like, Ace Attorney doesn't need to. Sometimes almost Christmas being not Christmas is the key piece of evidence that can, like, tie everything together. And that's
yeah,
beautiful. Like, that's
yeah,
why you play Ace Attorney.
yeah, certainly. I really liked the DL6 incident though. I
I have
thought
mixed feelings.
really.
Yeah.
What's your
Like,
thoughts?
so it's fine. I guess I just feel I guess I just get tired of hearing about it.
Hmm.
I like the use of foreshadowing. I think that's one of the I think that's one of the good things about the Turnabout Sisters case is that it does foreshadow the DL6 incident.
I like in that case you can get the Misty Faye photo,
Right.
and it's not like used for anything, but you can
Right.
still get it and hold on to it for a little bit, even though it's not used until the fourth case. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. That creates a sense of like, other cases matter a bit more, which is great. I
Yeah,
just like no, no, I'm tired of hearing about this mysterious sealed up events over and over.
yeah, because DL6 is really like the grandfather for the rest of the series.
No,
They
for sure.
they bring up a lot of old sealed up cases that were
Yeah.
never resolved. But DL6 has always been the biggest one.
Mm.
I think they learned to not like bring it up too much in
Well,
future
I mean,
games.
it is in its defense, it is the like original sin that's the foundation of the entire storyline. So it definitely deserves a place.
Yeah, if Gregory Edgeworth takes the stairs, none of Ace Attorney ever happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Phoenix never becomes a lawyer.
I know, we could have had like a race car driving simulator, but no.
Can we get like a Phoenix Wright kart game?
That would be so great. That would be so amazing.
There's so many
Because
characters you could use.
so many characters, so many locations you could turn into racetracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that would be amazing.
I
Oh.
would play that for sure. I wish Phoenix Wright had gotten into Smash Bros.
Yeah. He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yeah, he would have fit in so well. But he wasn't like popular enough for them.
I mean that wasn't a barrier with other characters, I feel like. I feel like
That's,
there's plenty of
it,
unnecessary unpopular characters in Smash.
that's true. They threw in fucking Piranha Plant.
Well, I mean, the Piranha Plant is,
He's pop. He's like popular technically. Like everyone knows him.
I respect it. I mean, just looking at you, you wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for the Piranha Plant from Mario.
This is Petey Piranha.
I know, but still, the
He's
Piranha
the
Plant is
big wig.
foundational. The the Piranha Plant is foundational in
I
his evolution, and by extension, your evolution.
I wish it had been Petey Piranha in Smash instead. But he's like in the final Smash for Piranha Plant, so
You see, exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah. I would have honestly respected more if they just threw a Goomba in.
I would love to be able to play as a game.
Yeah, just a Goomba. I love in the Paper Mario series they let you play as a Goomba twice, or have a Goomba companion that you can attack with.
That's good. That's good depth.
Yeah,
Goombas deserve more love in general.
I love Goombas. I think they're cute.
I agree. I agree. I always have.
And you know what? For Phoenix Wright in Smash, he was in Marvel vs. Capcom, so they could put him in.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom vaguely confuses me as a concept.
Yeah, I don't know why that series exists.
Like, I guess it's cool for people who enjoy it, but it's like, really? It's like Marvel versus Capcom of all things?
Yeah. There's one guy out there who is like just a huge Marvel and Capcom fan that lost his mind.
Yeah, and I love that for him. Like, you know.
He was like, "Oh my god." But everyone else, it's like just confusing.
Yep.
Why not like I wish it was like Marvel versus DC. You know,
I
classic.
mean, in a way, I respect that it's not, because that seems obvious.
Yeah. But also we've never had it. Never
Yeah.
really had it. But yeah, it is kind of. I always think it's interesting when properties are used in ways you wouldn't expect. Like I've been playing Lego Batman 1 recently.
I could never really get into Lego Batman.
I
I
love
I
Lego
I
Batman.
played it. This is the one for the Wii, or the
This
one that
is
was on Wii.
it might have been, I don't know, but it's on like every platform now, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to say I first played it on the Wii, and it was fine. It just wasn't Lego Star Wars or Indiana Jones, which were amazing games, in my
I
opinion.
I am. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think Lego Batman is better than those games.
Yeah, that's definitely a hot take.
The thing that puts it over them for me is consistency. I think Lego Batman doesn't have a truly bad level in it. And Lego Star Wars and Lego Indiana Jones do.
Well, what are the worst levels of Star Wars and Indiana Jones, though?
Okay, to be fair, I haven't played Lego Indiana Jones in years, so I don't really remember.
Okay, Lego Star Wars because I
But
played that like for half of my childhood, so I should remember what you're talking about.
Lego Star Wars, there's at least one level that I can name by name, and that's Gunship Cavalry.
Okay, yeah, Gunship Cavalry is very underwhelming. You have a very good point there.
That I think that level is terrible. Like,
A
ah,
lot of the ship levels aren't very good.
yeah. But in Lego Batman, I actually find them at least a little bit enjoyable. But in Lego Star Wars, they're just pains to me. And then there are other levels. Like, I never really enjoyed Speeder Showdown personally.
Yeah, I can see that. I remember enjoying it, but yeah, I can see not enjoying it.
Yeah. And then there's the one level in the Death Star with a stupid yellow car thing. You remember that?
A yellow car?
A little. It's not like really a car. It's like a little floating thing, but it's yellow, and you like have to take it over like 5 buttons.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's that level, and there are little things that annoy me, like you know the parts where you have to wear a stormtrooper helmet to get through certain areas.
Right.
I hate how you get hit and it falls off if you get hit once. And,
Yeah, that is a pain.
and then you have to walk all the way back.
I hear you. I hear you there.
And I'm not saying Lego Star Wars is a bad game. I'm just saying I like it less than Lego Batman. And I mean, Lego Star Wars was like the first games they made, so it's gonna be less polished than the ones that come after it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You can get too polished with the Lego game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like some of the newer ones have like strayed too far away.
Personally, my Lego franchise game hot take is that including dialogue and voice acting is a mistake.
I agree. I miss the mumbling.
Yeah, the mumbling and the miming out of everything is just beautiful,
Yeah,
and losing that is a mistake.
like when I was playing Lego Batman, I thought it was just so funny, the like miming out of what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
the Riddler showing off his plan with these like 4 big screens that he just like points to with his cane,
mm-hmm.
and every character that like corresponds to the item is like, oh yay.
Yeah, or like in Lego Star Wars during the whole "I am your father" sequences, Vader digs around in his pocket for a family portrait or something.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember that. Oh my god. Yeah, that's so
Beautiful,
funny.
beautiful stuff.
Like that's so funny, but now they just like say what they're gonna do.
I know. It feels lazy.
Yeah. What's a Lego game you would like to see? Like a franchise you would like to see in Lego form?
Franchise I would like to see in Lego form. I've thought about this before actually, and I want to say I came up with some good answers, but now I'm beginning to realize that what I was actually thinking about is what movies I want to see VeggieTales adaptations of. Um, so I need to think about for at least a little bit. I kind of like to see a Lego game that's, not like unnecessarily edgy or dark, but it'd be cool to see a Lego game for a franchise or just a movie that's a bit more mature, a bit more sophisticated.
Yeah, that I think that would be funny.
Exactly. There's a comedy inherent to that.
Yeah, one thing I was surprised about in Lego Batman was that they referenced the Killing Joke. Have you ever like
I'm
heard?
aware of it. I'm aware of it.
Yeah, like that's a dark comic, man.
Yeah.
It's also the one where Batman like probably kills the Joker at the end.
Well, I mean, at that point, fine.
Yeah, I would. I honestly am a big proponent that Batman should have killed the Joker a long time ago.
I mean, they enjoy each other's company too much, is the thing.
True.
And
What
it's not about any sort of sense of honor or rules on Batman's side. I think he just enjoys having the Joker in it. It's
what
it's
is
uh
what
it's
is
a
the
whole thing.
point of the Batman without the Joker?
I know, like just conceptually, think about it. You have a character who's like this hero who fights with this technology, with this bat motif. Who is his natural enemy? Who is his natural counterpoint in the
A
world? Clearly, it's
clown.
going to be a clown. Like, there are some things in literature and fiction that just work, and that's one of them. You can't
Yeah.
break it. You can't have one without the other. You can't have a clown without, like, a bat person dressed up as, like, a vaguely humanoid bat
Yeah.
thing. It doesn't work.
Just age old rivalry.
Exactly. It's
Bats
like
and
mongooses
clowns.
versus cobras, you know?
Yeah, bats and clowns.
Yeah, it's the two types of goths, you know?
I wish they would use Man Bat as a villain more.
Yeah, Man Bat and the Killer Moth. I was always a fan of the
Oh,
Killer Moth.
yeah. Killer Moth is in Lego Batman, which is
He
kind of
is, which
surprising.
is funny. Like they have a lot of just very amusing villains in that, which I do respect it for.
They give two missions dedicated to Killer Moth, and only one mission dedicated to Bane in Lego Batman 1.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't like I feel like Bane was less of a big deal when Lego Batman 1 came out.
True, it might have been like before his big movie appearance.
Yeah, like his big movie appearance was pretty big. I feel like before that he was also kind of a weird one-off type villain.
Yeah. I feel like they did him a little too dirty. Giving
Yeah,
Killer
yeah.
Moth his spot instead. Like, they also have Mad Hatter in Lego Batman. I
I
didn't
remember
even
Mad Hatter.
I didn't even know he was a villain
So,
until
did
I
you
saw
ever
him.
did you ever watch the Adam West Batman show?
I did not, unfortunately.
Okay, see, I did because it played like every Saturday on this like old TV station. Like it plays oldies. So I've seen probably at least like 20 or 30 episodes of the Adam West Batman. And they have a lot of weird one-off villains that get spotlighted in that.
Was Mad Hatter one of them?
Mad Hatter was one of them I want to say. Another one that I think because is like the bookworm whose whole thing is that he like reads books pretty much.
Yeah. I don't
I want to
think.
say there's like a calendar man whose thing is that like he celebrates various holidays.
What? How is he a villain?
I think that he just like, themes his crimes around different days on the calendar or something.
If it's like Valentine's Day, does he like shoot heart arrows into people?
Yeah, something like that. I want to say.
I gotta watch that show.
Yeah.
I do like that they feature the weirder villains in Lego Batman, and that's something they kind of kept doing as the
Mhm.
series went on. But yeah, who all is in that game? That is like kind of weird.
What?
I'm trying to think who all is in that game.
Probably a bunch of
Yeah,
weirdos.
Ray. They don't use Ray Shao Ghul.
Well, again, I feel like Ra's al Ghul is someone who like just wasn't as big a deal before Christopher Nolan's Batman.
True.
And like in the comics, isn't he some sort of like wizard or something?
I don't know. I'm not like a big comic guy.
Neither am I, but I guess like when I think about it, I'm aware of more of it than I need to be.
From what I've heard, he's like fairly important though. Ray Shao Ghul. Actually, like pretty important, at least in the comics, I think. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, and people are gonna be screaming at me.
Doesn't matter, they're DC fans.
Yeah, idiots is what we
I
call
know,
them.
like exactly. Like they have enough to complain about as it is. They're not gonna have time for us.
Yeah, yeah. They take enough L's already.
Exactly. And like it might seem cruel to kick them while they're down like this, but we have to kick them sometimes, and they're never getting up anyway.
Yeah,
So
they kind of deserve it. At least they're
yeah,
not Superman fans. At least I hope there are no Superman fans watching this.
yeah. I generally hate Superman on the general principle that he's boring. I can kind of
Yeah.
better appreciate him now, but for the sake of this podcast, I'm going to continue hating him.
His weakness is a fucking green rock.
Yeah.
Like, that is so boring, dude. Alright, I think it's time for the viewer question segment.
Viewer questions. Let's hear the questions that the viewers have asked us in the form of questions, with the intention of us answering them here on the podcast. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Alright, the question I'm going to start out with.
The answer is no. Next question.
Thoughts on Midwest emo? What is
So
I don't know what that is.
Midwest emo is a like it's a subgenre, I would say, of emo music that's like characteristic of the 1990s ish Midwestern United States. Uh, it employs like unconventional vocal stylings, pretty distinctive guitar riffs, arpeggiated melodies. It's sort of a shift away from the genre's hardcore punk roots, and it draws more on indie rock and math rock approaches.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
I would say it's bad.
All right. That's gonna have to be the answer because I've never listened to any of it.
I mean, it has Midwest in the name, and it's emo. Like it's
That's
pretty much
true.
bound. It's pretty much bound to be pathetic. So
Yeah,
that's my answer.
I hate the Midwest.
I hate the Midwest.
Thank you. All right, here's one. Well, I already know what your answer to this is,
I
but
don't yet. So ask the question.
by the way, that last question was from Gnome. Oh
Thank you.
wait, he
No.
has he has two other questions. What am I doing? It's not one question per person. Don't worry. Are cats
But
silly enough? Before we get to the question that I already know what your answer is, are cats
okay, yeah.
silly enough? I think no.
I would agree. No.
Dogs are maybe sometimes a little too silly.
I love dogs being
Yeah.
silly. I can never fault them for that.
Yeah, but I think dogs are a better amount of silly to have than the lack of silliness that cats present.
Cats are sadly just unwilling to commit to being silly.
Yeah. And if you have a cat, you have to like wait for them to get old for them to start loving you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's just sad kind of. Like my cat has finally started being loving towards everyone, and that means he's getting old.
yeah. I have two cats in my life, and neither of them love me very much.
Yeah, cats are like loners.
Yeah, and I respect that. Like, I can get people who identify with that, but why would you want to, you know?
Yeah, what is the point of that as a pet?
I don't know. Like, if I wanted that, I would get, like, a monitor lizard, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to like just look at a pet though. I want to pet them.
You can pet a monitor lizard, and it goes about as well as petting a cat.
All right, and Gnome's final question: why did my
Final
ex
question.
leave me?
Oh boy. Which X are we talking about? Gnome's X?
Yeah, Gnome's ex. I mean, if you want to answer why your ex left you.
Um, so, Gnome, I just want to say that your ex left you because they weren't good enough for you. You deserve someone better than that, and whether or not they acknowledge that, by their leaving, it gives you a chance to find the right person, a better person, someone who's on your level. So I would take your ex leaving you as like, a good riddance to bad rubbish, get rid of them, and find someone better. That's my take.
Yeah, fuck Gnome's ex.
I mean, not in a good way, in a bad way.
Not in a good way. No, just like bad.
Or not in like a really bad way. Just like
Yeah,
in
not.
this sort of not in the sort of street sense slang sort of way.
Yeah, yeah, you
Not
get it, you
literally.
get it.
Not literally is what I'm stressing here.
Yeah. Gnome, you're a good person. I like you. I hope you're doing well.
I like gnome very, very much, which is ironic because I dislike gnomes in principle. So lots of
what's
love for you, gnome.
what's wrong with gnomes?
Oh boy, that would be a whole other podcast.
All right, I'll
I'm
have
I'm
to
I'm not
write
gonna
that.
start. Yeah,
I'll
yeah. I'm
have
not
to
gonna
write
start
that one
answering the
down
gnome
for
question now.
episode 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are gnomes so bad? All right, this is the one that I already know your answer to.
Okay, I'm very curious as to what it is.
Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no more video games, or games, unlimited games, and no games? I don't understand the second part, honestly.
Well, I mean, you're right though in that my answer. Like, obviously, I don't need unlimited bacon, so I'll
Yeah,
take the unlimited games but no games, or whatever that second part is
yeah.
supposed to be.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna like assume the second part just means unlimited games. I'm kind of confused by it though, but actually, my answer is also number 2. I am not a very big bacon fan, actually.
I
I,
mean, the only reason why anyone talks about bacon now is because it's had this big resurgence in like the last 10 years, thanks to a lot of money put forward by like, the pig industry. So, meh. I
I
don't think that bacon is necessarily very good in and of itself.
I prefer sausage, honestly.
And I get that. Like, sausage is the one type of meat I can understand people liking because it has all those like spices and flavors added to it, and it's like cured and smoked. Like, who wouldn't like that?
Yeah. I mean, the only good bacon for me is like when it's baked in an oven.
Baked? You bake bacon? I always thought you like pan fried it.
Yeah, you can like put it in an oven to cook it, and I think it's really good that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no food is worth giving up video games entirely for.
True. Alright. That was from our boy Fearmore.
Oh, Fearmore, what a legend.
Yeah, the legend himself. What a guy.
I love Fearmore so much. They like all of my tweets pretty much, except for this one time when I said something sympathetic about the Queen of England, and Fearmore corrected me, and it was so cool. So I really appreciate you, Fearmore.
Did you get dunked on by Fearmore?
I did, and I deserved it, and
Uh,
I learned a lot from that experience.
yeah, when they're coming at you, you know you messed up because they never say anything.
I know, like they're a quiet person, but when they have something to say, they'll let you know, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
A real strong silent type.
Exactly.
Alright. This is the one everyone's probably been waiting for. How many war crimes has the Heely gang committed in total?
Okay, so at least four come to mind for me.
What are the specific four you're thinking about?
No, I mean just four on my end. I don't know how many that you,
Oh,
because I'm
what
trying
are
to like add. I'm trying to add it up in my mind.
eh, what are the four you did personally? What are you in for?
Well, I don't know. You go first. You go first. Like obviously you have a bit more. I feel like after you go, mine will seem less bad.
God, what's the? Let's try the worst one I did. Because I've done like too many to really name here.
Right, right. Understandable.
Is there like a specific war crime for like testing the effects of radiation on innocent civilians?
I think that's just science. I don't know if I would count that.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's been done a lot of times.
What about like, trying to manipulate the timelines to murder the president? Is that a war
That
crime?
I mean, if you do it in a different timeline, like conceivably they might not have the understanding of war crimes that we do.
True. But it was like, I mean, like going back to the past and like implanting a bomb in them at a
I
young
feel like,
age.
well, okay, if you're killing them before they become president, that becomes problematic. I think that killing a head of state in terms of like assassination isn't necessarily against at least the spirit of international law. It just happens so much. I feel like you can't call a head of state a civilian properly.
That's true. But we like implanted a bomb in their neck when they were still a civilian.
That's probably pretty bad.
All right. So I think that might be the worst one.
Okay, so my worst war crime. I work at Trader Joe's, as some of you may know.
Oh, that what a terrible war crime.
Yeah, now I'm getting to the war crime bit. And we have a lot of things that, go out of stock all the time, or things that we discontinue. We're kind of famous, in case you didn't know, for discontinuing, like, people's favorite products. And I
Mm.
take great joy and satisfaction in telling all these sweet, innocent old ladies who just, need that product that I'm sorry, ma'am, it doesn't exist anymore. And then, watch them break down crying as they leave. And I would say that's pretty evil, so I'll go with that.
Damn, actual like Marvel or DC supervillain.
I know.
Ah man, you are
What's worse
evil.
is sometimes, like, if we don't have many things that are actually discontinued, and someone comes in asking for a product that we're out of, I'll say that's been discontinued, just to sort of try to get that same high.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can look at you the same way.
I know, I know.
I mean, mine was like normal. Yours is just pure evil, I think.
Did you ever see that sketch? I forget where it's from. But it stars Dwayne Johnson. It might be Funny or Die or something. But it's this like evil convention. It has all these like evil masterminds unveiling their evil inventions, and one of them has like this shrink ray or freeze ray or whatever. And they're all laughing about how evil they are. And then Dwayne Johnson comes out and says that he's invented a child molesting robot.
Oh my god.
And everyone's just really taken aback as Dwayne Johnson very politely and like straightforwardly explains that my child molesting robot molests children's at rates of 20% more, efficiently or effectively than human molesters. And
Oh
everyone's
my
just like
god.
everyone's so horrified and they like try to kill him or something.
There are lines that villains won't cross.
Exactly, and I love that for them. I love the villain who enjoys being evil but isn't like a bad person, you
Yeah.
know?
Have you ever seen like the comic? There's like there's some villain out there that's like a Nazi, and the Joker is like working with him, but then he realizes that he's an actual unironic Nazi, and he gets like pissed.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like that's why we love our villains because deep down they're good people who just, do evil things and that's cool. They're not like evil people who do genuinely evil things.
Yeah, like the Joker will not work with a Nazi. He tried to kill him.
As he should.
Yeah, Nazis are not villains. They are just the scum of the earth.
Right. Like we love an anti-fascist icon. What can I
Yeah,
say?
there's a line between villain and scum of the earth, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Villains are usually like hotter on average. More attractive.
True. I wouldn't fuck the Joker though.
I mean, neither would I, but I'm not really into men on that
Yeah.
level.
I'm
So,
not I am into men, but like I wouldn't fuck the Joker.
is he like too much man for you? Is that it?
He's not enough, man. Plus he's
uh,
like been infected in like radioactive goo or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure none of that's like transmittable, probably.
I hope not. Alright, the next two are about wrestling, surprisingly.
Oh boy, okay.
So I don't think you'll be able to answer. Oh, by the way, the last one came from Victor. Thank you, Victor.
Ah, thanks, Victor.
Alright, Binky Boy asks what my
Oh boy,
favorite
I remember him.
what my favorite wrestling moment ever is. Uh, I don't know. Like, can it still be your favorite if it made you like really sad and cry?
I think so. A favorite movie can make you sad and cry.
Yeah. Then it was Shawn Michaels' retirement match at like WrestleMania 26. That was my favorite wrestling match, and I kind of count that as a wrestling moment.
Yeah.
Simple answer. And then,
Yeah, I also have a favorite wrestling moment. Come to think of it.
all right, what is your favorite wrestling moment?
Well, actually, like there's two flavors of answer. One is slightly worse than the other. Like there's a lot of really cool moments I've seen in compilation videos on wrestling, which I will not count.
Hmm.
Um, but one especially notable wrestling moment I can think of is the classic Antaeus Hercules matchup. If you remember that one.
Ah.
Um, so he was obviously a Greco-Roman wrestler, but he was this very foundational figure in wrestling, and he was half divine, like his mother was the goddess of the earth or something. And when he was touching the earth, he was invincible, and he challenged everyone who passed him to a wrestling match, and he would kill them. And then Hercules came along as one of his labors, his famous labors, and he had to defeat this guy Antaeus. And what he did was, instead of trying to pin him on the ground, he held him in the air and crushed him to death, like in a hug, like just squeezing him. And
Like
I think that was a pretty cool moment that we should see more of in modern wrestling today.
he bear hugged him. Yeah,
Exactly.
classic move. All right, and Kanon, like the camera, asks which
You
wrestler
mean
is
canon?
canon.
I've always pronounced it canon. I might be wrong.
That probably is canon actually, and I'm just being stupid. But he asks which wrestler is your goat, your greatest of all time.
Oh, so not an actual goat.
Not an actual goat. Being
Okay.
clear. If
Understood.
that were it, it'd probably be Brian Danielson. But can be retired or currently fighting. I can give answers for both, to be honest.
Alright, give answers for both. Let's do it.
Retired, mentioning him again is Shawn Michaels. That's why I cried. And currently fighting is Seth Rollins. And
Seth Rollins.
both of them are just very good wrestlers. That's about it. Very
Okay.
good at the physical, actual wrestling part. There are two parts. There's talking and then actually wrestling. And they're like okay at talking. They're pretty good actually, but they're mainly great at actually wrestling. All right, now give your answer.
My favorite wrestler is probably gonna have to be. I'm trying to think of his name. Ignacio, better known as Nacho or Nacho Libre from the film Nacho Libre, as portrayed by Jack
Mm,
Black. That's probably gonna have to be my favorite wrestler.
that's a great
Although
choice.
Ramses, come to think of it, his arch enemy in that movie, Ramses, is really cool. So I'm gonna have to go with Ramses instead.
Mm.
Ooh, but there's also El Santo. El Santo's amazing. He's a wrestler, right?
I think so.
And he's like an actual real life wrestler. He was a luchador in Mexico who also did a bunch of like monster fighting movies.
Oh
And
yeah,
he had like comics and everything. Like he was amazing.
oh yeah. They do that. Yeah, some of them become like real life superheroes down there.
Yeah, no, Mexican wrestling is where it's at, in my opinion.
There are a lot of different wrestling types based on country. There's
Like Japan,
Japanese
as I was gonna say,
wrestling.
Japan has some cool stuff going on.
Japan Japanese wrestling can get really weird, honestly. Like I've seen people have matches with a sex doll.
But that's
Like
impressive. Like,
yeah,
that must take a lot of skill, like to
yeah. Some people have matches against no one, and they say they're fighting the Invisible Man.
Okay, that must save on paying people.
What really saved was one match, Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. And
That sounds intense.
it was just an empty ring with a referee.
The referee must have really been going at it though. Then
Yeah, he was really going at it, and the crowd was like cheering. The
I kind
crowd
of love
was
that.
fully reacting.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and then there's American wrestling, which is kind of like the Mickey Mouse of the wrestling
Yeah,
world.
yeah. I think that's fair.
We used to be like kind of cool. Not we're not anymore though.
All in our own way, we're like fast food.
True, we're the McDonald's of wrestling.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's like European wrestling.
No, we don't need to talk about European wrestling. I feel like that does a pretty good job of making fun of itself.
I don't know. They're good people from over there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's good people everywhere. That doesn't mean that like we have to take them seriously.
True. Come to America and then you can get taken seriously, is what I say.
Right.
Alright, that is it for viewer questions.
That's all the viewer questions.
Yeah, we didn't get many.
That's insane. That's messed up.
We're not niche internet micro celebrities.
Well, I mean, we are niche micro internet celebrities. I feel like our mistake might be in being a bit too niche and a bit
Yeah,
too micro, but we can work on that.
yeah. I want to be like a internet mega star. I don't want to be a micro celebrity anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with just like lots of money.
Yeah, but like I don't want to
Every
become the
level of that.
next. I don't want to become the next Mr. Beast though.
God, I hate Mr. Beast. I hate him so much. I want to take his face and I want to like do violent things with it.
He is annoying though.
He's really annoying, and I don't like his face.
Oh, I starved my friend to death for $50,000.
I know. Like you go on Survivor, you've got a shot at $1 million. You're starving yourself to death.
Yeah. Come on, Mr. Beast. And his burgers look just disgusting. I've never had a Mr. Beast burger, and I never will, because they look terrible.
You know what would be satisfying to like, a trebuchet, right?
Yes.
It would be very satisfying to just like fling him across a field somewhere with a trebuchet and watch his body like flying through the air, hit the ground once, twice, and then go motionless, you know?
Oh my god. Man, I thought I hated him, but man, you really hate Mr. Beast.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he is like the biggest YouTuber on the platform now.
I thought he was the guy from Fortnite.
He is the guy from Fortnite now, too.
Okay, okay.
But he's also the biggest YouTuber in the world.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe,
that's part of why I hate him, but he's also just really annoying.
yeah. And that means it's time for the political section.
All right, time to get political.
Yeah. So
We're gonna
how
add a
about...
woman to this podcast.
Oh my god. Go woke, go broke.
All right, so introduce the political section. What are we looking at?
Well, how about that red wave, huh?
I was so impressed by this red wave. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of fruit punch flavored Gatorade.
Okay, go
And I'll
on.
explain why. It's because fruit punch flavored Gatorade, you look at it and you think, ooh, that looks red, it looks tasty, it looks juicy, right? But it's just way worse than all the other Gatorades. It's underwhelming, it's disappointing, it doesn't meet expectations. And that is exactly what the 2022 midterms were all about for me.
You know what? You are exactly right. Fruit getting political again. Fruit Punch Gatorade is like in the F tier of
It is. It is.
of both Gatorades and of fruit punches.
It is. And it's a shame because like every time you look at it, you want it to be good, you want it to be juicy, you want it to be tasty, but it's not.
Honestly, if you ain't getting the orange or the blue Gatorade, what are we even doing here?
Exactly.
But about the midterms, it
Yeah,
was...
speaking of blue Gatorade.
Speaking of blue Gatorade, there was some delicious blue Gatorade this year.
There really was. There really was.
And the most delicious and the biggest size of Gatorade came from yours truly in Pennsylvania.
I was so satisfied when I saw that election result come in. I was watching I very rarely watch news on the TV, but I was watching news on the TV on midterm night. And I saw Oz failing so hard. I saw Fetterman surging so well in Pennsylvania. It was a very magical moment, even for
Yeah.
me out here in Oregon.
It was. You can't. I can't express how special it was actually being here.
I'm so envious of you. Like to be able to from the beginning support a character candidate you genuinely believe in and genuinely want to see succeed and to support him all the way from, a primary where things were not guaranteed at first to a truly stunning win over carpetbagger celebrity doctor from New Jersey. Like that's just a really special thing to be a part of.
Yeah. And it felt like I was so afraid, that we were gonna lose. And we would
Yeah.
have to live with fucking Dr. Oz.
It would have been very funny though.
It would have been, like, humiliating as a
I realized
Pennsylvanian.
that. I realized that as an Oregonian, I would just find it very amusing.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm very happy it didn't happen, but
Yeah.
like either
We
way, like I wouldn't have been horrified by the result.
Thank God, though, we got Big Johnny in the Senate.
Yeah, yeah.
And what else happened on midterm night?
Well, Tim Ryan went down
I
just as I
was
thought he would. I'm not a Tim Ryan fan, and I'm not a Tim Ryan believer.
I was not a Tim Ryan believer, but I was hoping he would somehow win.
Well, I mean, obviously you have to hope he'd win,
Yeah,
especially
but
considering who he was up against.
what I'm saying is
Um,
that I kinda liked him just a little bit.
so I first saw Tim Ryan on the Democratic debate stage in 2020 when he was running for president.
And he
Um,
was very bad on
he
that
was
stage. I
very bad.
remember.
Like Tulsi Gabbard pretty much threw him to the floor, and I hate Tulsi Gabbard.
Ugh.
Um, and like during his Ohio Senate campaign, he just rubs me the wrong way. Like he just I don't know. There's something about him. One thing about Tim Ryan I will say is that he has a very common type of look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
he
that
looks like the average man.
he does. I can't tell you how many times just walking around, even out here in Portland, Oregon, when I see someone and for like a minute I'm like, was that Tim Ryan? He looks sort of like Tim Ryan. And obviously, he never is, but like, there's a million guys out there who look like Tim Ryan, and I think that's special. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, my first impression of Tim Ryan was also at that debate. But and I didn't like him back then. But then like I kind of saw some of the things he was actually like in the house on the house floor and his speeches and that made me like him a bit more
I can
for that.
understand that, but like his advertising and his playbook in Ohio, it's just annoying. Like especially all to like China hate, and I don't like China, but like he sounded so obnoxious, like whining about, and that's because of China, and we can't let this administration take our jobs to China. We're gonna put a stop to this for Ohio. I
uh I get anything someone wants to do for Ohio sounds terrible though.
exactly like that should have been the first warning sign, honestly, that he liked
That
Ohio.
yeah, that he's from Ohio.
That he's in Ohio, I think, is a bit of a red flag. If I was gonna, vote for Senate in Ohio, like
True.
just if it's like if you want to if you want to be in the club, I don't think you should lead the club myself.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so Tim Ryan went down.
Yeah, and we got
Florida. Don't even talk about Florida, honestly.
Florida. I think does deserve a mention because people talk about it like, oh, it's the one place where there was a red wave, and try to make it something special about Ron DeSantis. But I really think it's just because Florida is a very red state now, and like that's it.
What?
Like
Yeah, that's what I think. I think we just give up on Florida, quite frankly.
Yeah, like honestly, give up on Florida, put more resources towards like North Carolina even or Wisconsin.
Yeah. Ah, Wisconsin. I was gonna get to that. We could have won in Wisconsin.
We easily could have won in
Quite
Wisconsin.
frankly, Wisconsin was very winnable. Democrats put zero into that seat, and we
Yeah,
still almost won.
we almost won with a very good candidate, pretty
Yeah,
good environment, all things considered. We easily could have pushed through there. We just
yeah.
did not get that national support.
That was hard. That was a heartbreaker. And how much money did they spend on Florida?
Exactly.
Millions and millions, and it was useless. Like, just leave Florida. Even if you put the money in Texas instead, I think it's a better idea.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Texas is actually trending blue.
Right. Like put some on like make it targeted. Don't like throw a bunch of money at Beto's next run, statewide run, but put some money in those congressional races.
Yeah. Uh, but
The other interesting thing about a state that is trending blue, like Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia was special.
Uh,
It's just like how badly Stacey Abrams did, you
I don't
know?
know. I think maybe I don't know if I'll get flack for this, but I think she's very overrated.
I would agree with you. And I wouldn't have like 2 years ago, but I definitely would now. And obviously, like there are other factors involved. And I think that she probably is an effective organizer, but I don't think that she's necessarily an effective statewide candidate in Georgia
Yeah,
right now.
like I appreciate what she does, but I think trying to get her to win any kind of race is just not what we do, really.
It's
I
not
don't.
our best, it's not the best call.
I think maybe just like give her like DNC chair or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's where I think she's best organizing. I don't think she really can win is the problem.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Well,
Arizona.
yeah, Arizona was kind of fun because we had such nut jobs on the Republican side. And that was very satisfying
Yeah.
to see, Democrats
Spaceman
winning there.
won.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
news for Masters.
Oh God. The Blake Masters campaign was very confusing to me.
What happened? I
Did
didn't
you
pay
ever
that
see
much
his
attention.
ads? Did you ever see
No,
Blake Masters ads? Do yourself a favor, anyone listening right now, and look up like Blake Masters gun ad or something.
I
He has
can't imagine that man with a gun.
Oh no, he loves guns. And he makes the mistake of liking guns too much and in a too specific way. Like one of his ads, he has this like German handgun type thing. And he shoots it and he turns to the camera, he's like, this is and he gives the exact name of this gun. It's a German gun, it's a good gun, and this gun wasn't made to hunt, it was made to kill people. And he just like looks at the camera. And it's like just the freakiest alien thing to do. Like
That is the
he's just bad
worst.
vibes.
That is the worst thing any Senate candidate could ever do, I think.
I know, and like I think he made the mistake of thinking, oh, Republicans like guns, they'll like my, obsessive hyperfixation over this German gun.
I
And they
think,
won't. It's just bad
yeah.
vibes.
I think even showing off a German gun is like
That's a
they can't
mistake.
they can't relate to a German gun.
No,
The
like
average American. They relate to like hunting rifles.
exactly. I think German gun, and I think Blake Masters, and I think Nazi.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
look at the guy. He's this sort of pale, pasty, skinny little
Yeah. He's
freak.
really weird looking.
Which is what makes it so funny, like his campaign. Like the Arizona Republican Party tweets pictures, memes, allegedly memes,
Yeah.
of like, Blake Masters as the Chad. and and
Yeah, they
Kelly is
made like
Jack, and that
Kelly
doesn't
the
work.
yeah, they made Kelly the soy jack, but he's like an astronaut.
I know he's an astronaut. He's this American hero. He's this
Yeah,
icon,
how can
and then you make like the weakest looking human being in Arizona politics, and you make him the Chad in this meme. Really?
I saw like a clip from the debate and Kelly just like little broed him,
Yeah, yeah.
like patted him on the head type deal.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was just a weird race. It was a weird race. I'm glad to see how well it went. The Arizona governor was weird too because the Democrat candidate who ended up winning didn't really campaign all that much. Like she skipped the debate, which I don't like. I think all candidates should debate.
That's
Um,
always bad when you skip a debate.
I
Yeah,
know, like even if your team is telling you it's better for you if you don't debate, you look like a coward and you look like you don't care about informing voters. Like
yeah, yeah,
people deserve a chance to see you debate your opponent.
yeah. And even
But
if it's
what?
like you might have wanted like John Fetterman to skip a debate.
I'm so glad that he didn't.
Yeah,
Like I
he didn't.
respect him more as a man because, or not as a, like not to bring random masculinity stuff into this. I respect him more as a person and as a politician and as a leader because he showed up.
Yeah, and it was really cool that he was like willing to look vulnerable too.
Exactly.
And as someone who lived for a while with someone who suffered from a stroke and had a worse recovery in parts than he did, that meant like a lot.
Yeah. I was
And
gonna say, I feel like that was really a strength. Like people can
yeah,
relate to that.
yeah, and it was like empowering, I feel.
Yeah,
And
100%.
and plus Oz made a mistake during that debate too.
Oh, is this the abortion should be between a woman and her doctor and her local elected officials?
Yeah, I feel
That was
like
just weird.
dis- despite how, Fetterman stumbling over his words or whatever, I think that was like the biggest clip takeaway from the debate.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Fetterman looked so bad," but it's usually about the clips with the
Yep.
debates, and
Yep.
that was the number one clip.
Yeah. Yeah. In a way it's a shame because I think Oz from Pennsylvania being our first Muslim senator would be really funny.
Oh my
Um,
god!
but I'm glad it didn't work out this time around. I wish him all the best. I
Yeah,
enjoyed his show,
good
but
luck running in New Jersey.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That'd be so funny if he ran in New Jersey.
It would be cool. I think he should go for
There was Nevada,
it. Nevada, you mean?
Nevada, Nevada.
So as an Oregonian from Oregon, I
Yes.
must stress that if you ever come west, as you should sometime, don't say
Yeah.
Nevada. Just don't say
Okay.
Nevada.
What is wrong with Nevada?
You sound like an Easterner who doesn't know what he's talking about, and you sound like you're intentionally insulting the great state of Nevada.
I am an Easterner that doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like if you want anyone to respect you in the West, you have to pronounce Oregon and Nevada correctly.
Eh,
I remember Donald Trump during 2016 coming to Nevada and saying Nevada, and everyone tried to correct him, and he just insisted it was Nevada, and it was a spectacle. You don't want to be that person.
okay, fine. I like the sound of Nevada better though. That's
Uh,
what it, that's what it is with me sometimes. Uh,
yeah, I get that, but Nevada sounds like it just sounds pretentious to me.
like this is a weird comparison, but the Pokemon Rayquaza, I say Rayquaza instead, and I know it's wrong.
Rayquaza.
What?
Yeah, the Hoenn legendaries, you can go either way.
Yeah. I just and I don't say it wrong on purpose, but I know that. But to me, it just sounds better, so I say it
Yeah, and
that
that's
way.
that's valid. Like look at the whole Arceus Arceus debate, you know?
Yeah. Arceus sounds terrible.
It does. It's Arceus 100%.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, the election in Nevada happened. It went well.
it took forever, though.
It did take forever.
Like, what are they doing over there?
It took too long, but ultimately worth the wait.
Sitting there with their thumbs up their asses, I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that much in Nevada, you know.
Yeah.
Like
They're scared.
you as I say you played Fallout New Vegas, you know.
Yeah. Realistic
Yeah,
Nevada
like how much
simulator.
how much voting infrastructure do you think they really have in Fallout New Vegas? Not very much. Not very
Well,
much.
yeah. I mean, the new
Like,
California Republic hasn't even taken over.
exactly. Like counting all the ballots is this huge quest line that has a bunch of really boring mini quests. So it's no wonder that people don't get to it very quickly.
Yeah, they get distracted by all the more fun side quests.
Exactly.
But you have to like scour the desert looking for ballots.
Yeah, it's just a pain. It's one of those like collect a ton of items things.
Yeah. Um, trying to think if there were any other big ones.
Well, I mean, I remember there being hype over the Oregon governor election, but that never really went anywhere.
I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to that.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, we had like Oregon is, usually solidly Democratic, but our governor elections tend to be fairly close. And we had
Mm,
a relatively strong third party presence in Betsy Johnson, who used to be a Democrat but then went independent and was pretty conservative. And so there was the thought that she would peel away Democratic votes and let the Republican win, but obviously that didn't happen. So sort of a sort of a anticlimactic finish there.
hmm. I should mention the Pennsylvania governor race.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Talk about it. Give us
Fuck.
your eye on the ground view.
Oh my god, Mastriano. He, unironically, the worst candidate of the entire cycle. The
I
single
believe you.
worst.
I
He
believe you. Seems like a special guy.
he was very special. He said he wanted to like imprison anyone who's ever had an abortion. He was a
It's a
fucking
shame.
lunatic.
It's a shame to see that from the Italian American community, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, disgusting. I
What do you
hated that guy.
what do you think of Josh Shapiro though?
Boring guy?
That's my take as well. I've seen a lot of hype online about, oh, Josh Shapiro should run for president. And I'm really uncertain about it because, from my perspective, he just seems like a very boring guy who won an election. Like, obviously better than the alternative, obviously a pretty decent guy overall, but not the sort of person who inspires me.
I think he'll be a good governor, but there's nothing to get that excited about with Josh Shapiro.
Exactly.
Really, being boring was his strong suit.
Also, I only now realize this. Josh Shapiro is kind of a hard name to say because it's like Josh Shapiro. There's the same sound twice, so it all sort of blends together into Josh Shapiro.
Yeah. And, that really went against him, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of names I'm not quite sure how to pronounce, we also have in more recent news that deal in Arizona with Kirsten Sinema.
Yep, Kirsten Cinema. That's how I say it too. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe we're both right.
Well, if we were wrong, that would make three of us because I'm not exactly sure what she's doing down there, but it doesn't make very
Yeah,
much sense.
yeah, she's wrong. Well, I mean, in some sense, like in a pure personal gain way, she kind of made a smart decision, I think.
Yeah, because this saves her from a primary. And
Yeah,
I
she.
definitely see the analysis on the Democrat side where you don't want to risk running a Democrat and helping the Republican win by spreading the
Yeah,
Democrat out.
it's it's too close. She's essentially like held the seat hostage.
Yeah,
But I mean, we might lose either way.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
seat we could lose anyways, but this kind of like maximizes her chances, I feel. Because if she probably would have been primaried, nobody liked her.
Oh, yeah.
Not a single person liked her.
And for
She,
good reason. Like, I really don't. Like, obviously, she must enjoy the spotlight.
yeah, she must enjoy causing pain and suffering for
Yeah,
others.
and on one level, I do sort of respect that. But, like, I don't know. I still dislike Joe Manchin more because I just personally dislike him more. But cinema is very frustrating for me. Very frustrating.
To me, cinema is worse, and I'll say why. Like policy wise, Mansion is worse, but he has like a reason. He has an excuse.
Yeah, but he's not
He's
winning re-election. Like, no matter what happens, I don't think he has a
if
very good
if
shot.
he wants even a 1% chance though, this is how he has to be pretty much.
Yeah,
He's
I don't know.
plus he's from West Virginia, and that's like the most conservative place in the entire country.
It's
And
pretty conservative.
the fact that we even got a seat there is incredible. But like he has a reason. Cinema has none.
It's especially confusing because she used to be like, a Green Party activist or whatever, right?
Yeah. She used to be a part of the Green Party and then turned into this. So that's why I hate her more.
To be fair, I feel like there's a lot of people I know online who've had a similar path politically.
From Green Party to like
From like from
pseudo conservative.
yeah, yeah, I feel like that's something you see quite a bit.
I don't know. I don't know that many. Usually
Uh,
the people I've been following have gone further left.
yeah, and that's its own weird thing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like practically speaking, there's only so far left you can go if you want to still be like, I don't know, if you want to still bring about effective change. Like if you're on the furthest extremes of the left and you're having success and changing your community and stuff, great. But I don't think that's what's going on usually.
No. Almost certainly not. I don't think like leftism of that kind will ever take off in America.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think organized leftism, where people call themselves leftists, is going to take off in America because it's just kind of cringe, I think. And I'm gonna offend a lot of listeners of this podcast with this, but this is sort of how I feel. I feel like if your system of belief has all of these, all of this reading and all this terminology and all of this theory, people don't care about that. The people who you talk about all the time, and these, common folk and proletariat or whatever, they don't care about theory. They do not care about little clubs, of, and they don't care about leftism. They care about solving the problems that they see in their everyday life. And
Yeah.
you can do that from a leftist perspective, but if you want to do it well and just don't call it leftist, just solve the problems. Just just act. Don't talk so much.
This this has been like
It's performative. It's performative.
yeah, and my thing is like if leftism is ever to truly get anything done in America, I think you have to like hide it behind
Yeah, yeah.
like I've always said instead of Medicare for all, call it like freedom care or something.
No, that, but genuinely, yeah. Like, people, there's this line somewhere about how if fascism comes to America, it will come like with a Bible in its hand and waving the flag or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how leftism could get here too, but that's what you need to do. You need to like dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't go around with, the Communist Manifesto in your hand saying like this is what we need to do. You just need to like put that policy into action, but dressing it up a bit so it's palatable to the people who could actually, support it.
Yeah, and saying like read theory has always bothered me too.
It has always ticked me off.
Because the average person is never going to do that.
And it's ridiculous to think that they would.
Yeah. You
It's
can't.
like if I was trying to get someone into anything, like a new video game, and they ask me a question about it, I just scream at them to read the theory. Like they're not gonna go to the wiki page and like study all the lore. If that's the appeal of your video game, you're gonna stay a niche, unplayed game in the corner forever.
you you need to tell them like how it benefits them. And I see
Exactly.
people online that are like, "Oh, it's not my job to educate you."
Oh, it is your job though if you
Like,
want to actually like get people on your side.
no, like yeah, no, it's not your job if you don't care about actually spreading your ideology.
Right. You know
Then,
who does care though? You know who does care? The far right. Like the far
yeah,
right loves to educate people.
yeah, good God. And this is like something I hate to like. I'm not like defending them or anything, but on the surface level, they, the right, are just kinder to people they believe that they could, you know,
Yeah.
convert.
Yeah.
They are just kinder, and that goes a long way.
It goes a heck of a long way.
If if someone is like on the fence and you just like scream at them that they're like a centrist or whatever, they aren't gonna listen to you. And
Exactly.
I hate how that works, but that is just humans and how we work.
Yeah, I think there really is potential for leftism and leftists to be kinder, but I really think on average they're not interested in that. I think a
No.
lot of people on the far right are they're really serious about achieving the policy goals that they have.
Yeah.
And as a group, they're a lot more organized and effective with that being their primary motivation. Whereas I feel like a lot of leftists, especially online leftists, it's more about looking cool or looking edgy or looking like a leftist and talking about like, you know, oh, I'm gonna like steal and that's great. You know what it's like? It's like people who talk about pirating things all the time.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
feel like if you actually pirate things, you're not gonna like, trumpet that all the time. You're just gonna pirate your stuff and play it. The kids who talk about, oh, you should pirate it, or this game's coming out, guess I'm gonna pirate it.
It's
They're the
not.
rich kids. They're the rich people who are just gonna buy it anyway. They're the people with the Funko Pop collections and all of this like, memorabilia and merchandise. They don't need to pirate stuff, and they're not going to. They're just
Like,
saying
yeah.
it for social points.
It's really not that easy to just pirate
It
something.
isn't. And instead of saying just pirate it, like this is the difference. If you were serious about helping people pirate it, you would like to explain how. But no one does.
Yeah.
They just say pirate it and then figure it out because they don't know how. They're just gonna buy it or have their parents buy it for them.
Yeah. Trying to, like, pirate something is like a minefield of viruses,
It is. And
especially pirating a video game.
yeah, God, there's so much stuff out there that
I
you
mean,
have to
if
be
it's
careful
like a TV show or something, you can usually find like a decent site or even like a Daily Motion video.
with. Yeah.
And that's like pretty safe, but a video game saying just pirate it, that is useless.
That's exactly how leftists are about like a lot of things. It's like, oh, just achieve this, or just, shoplift, or just, XYZ. And like no one does that. They're not doing it. They're just saying it so they can get the dopamine hit that they
Yeah,
get when they get a couple hundred likes on Twitter.com, you know?
like it's not that easy to commit theft.
It isn't. It isn't. Nor, I would say, is it necessarily a good idea for everyone to do.
No,
Because there's risks involved, and like people shouldn't be taking that on themselves if they don't have to.
are you really gonna like ruin your life for something stupid like that?
Exactly.
If
Like
you're
I
committing theft, you should only do it if you like have to, because it's
right,
a serious risk.
it is. Like I'm not gonna argue the morality of it. Like as a Trader Joe's employee, if I see people stealing, I genuinely wish them the best. Like I'm never gonna step in on that.
Yeah, I am
But it's
never
still a risk.
gonna
Like
I am never gonna confront a shoplifter.
no,
I
no.
don't disagree with like a lot of things leftists say. I would consider myself one,
As would I.
but it's just the methods that piss me off.
It really does. Like that's just not going to achieve the change that you want, and pretending that it does to me is just foundationally unserious. You know,
Yeah, you have
and
all
it's
these.
all the more frustrating because these are people who on paper I agree with. These are the people who share my value system. These are the people who share my policy goals. And they just don't care about putting that into practice, and that bothers me. That's what makes it
Yeah,
sting all the more.
yeah, it's so frustrating. It's like, oh, I'm gonna commit vandalism on, let's say, this giant bank or whatever. Do
And
it.
then but
Yeah.
like, all right, so I live in Portland, Oregon, as you know,
Yes.
which is, I like to think a little bit famous for anarchism and vandalism and stuff, right?
Yes.
We have a little bit of
Probably
a reputation for that.
probably the most famous in the
Right,
US.
right. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing that I like to tell people who are all into vandalism and anarchism and think that like what happens in Portland is cool. When a bunch of trust fund rich kids, 20 somethings, go downtown in black, all dressed in black and with face masks, and they throw bricks through like the windows of small businesses. And they like put glass and junk everywhere downtown. And they make businesses board up windows and shut down stuff. Do you know what that does for the population of Portland, which is generally very progressive and very liberal? It
It
makes
makes
them
them
not like you.
yeah, it
You
makes them
know?
more conservative too.
It does. It does, which is a shame. Like we just recently had an election in the midterms for city council, and we picked a very conservative guy who I voted against, but who won by a comfortable majority over his incumbent opponent who was pretty far left, Joanne Hardesty. And so Rene Gonzalez wins. This is a guy who wants to round up all the homeless and put them into camps. He
God.
wins because, in no small part, because of these so-called anarchists who just go downtown to party and have a good time and make it miserable for the rest of us.
Yeah. Uh like and why small businesses? That's always been my thing. Like I get small businesses always aren't the greatest,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but they're just generally not a good target in the like court of public opinion.
No, like if you genuinely want to break stuff, go somewhere important. Go somewhere to some company that you genuinely don't like that really does bad things and hurt them somewhere where it matters more. Don't go to like a neighborhood and make everyone turn against you, you know?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like pick one of the like massive banks or something.
Yeah,
Don't pick like Joe's Pizzeria.
exactly, exactly. Because people loves Joe Pizzeria and they hate the bank. But if you hit the
Yeah,
pizzeria
and
because
they
it's a
hate
bigger
you.
Exactly. They really will. They really will.
People will hate you if you go against Joe's Pizzeria
It's a
more
bad
than if you
move.
go against the bank.
It's political suicide to attack a pizzeria like that.
Yeah. Like, I just don't get it. And the people online, like, they just do nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Such big talk for someone who's, like, sitting on their couch day after day doing nothing.
It is deeply and profoundly disappointing and frustrating.
Yeah. I'm just asking you to do something. If you want to act all cool about vandalism, go do it.
Yeah, this is us right now telling you, the listeners of this podcast, if you really believe in something and you want to see change in your community, put it into action. Either like organize right now with your friends and coworkers, form a union. If you hate golf courses, go dig one up. Don't just like tweet about it. If you hate
Oh,
banks, don't go like online and whine about it. Like organize either a protest or put some bricks through windows somewhere where it matters, you know?
yeah,
Like if you genuinely believe that violence is the answer, which I don't necessarily always agree with, but if you believe that, go set it into motion, you know?
yeah. You as a person can make something happen. You can start organizing, or you could go out and actually do something physical yourself. You don't have to just post about it online. And generally, posting about it online is a bad idea.
Yeah, like I get the argument that people have where it's like, oh, but if I do stuff in real life, then I won't tell you anyway. Fine. You don't need to be online, you know?
Yeah, I yeah, like okay, I don't
In- Inspire
like
change where it matters. You
like
don't
it's
need you don't need everything you do doesn't need to be for content for your social media.
yeah, for cool internet points. This is this is why I don't like say I would do any of these things seriously. It's always a joke with me
Yeah.
because I think it's like funny how they say those things. I never like actually mean any of that because I know I would never go out and do something like that. But, maybe I will organize one day. I think I would do something like that eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a very interesting and dynamic state. I feel like there's a lot of room for you to get involved politically.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes sometimes I wonder if my Twitter posts have fucked me over before I've even began though.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Like, if you run for president, someone might dig them up. You run for state house, state senate, people are not going to find them.
Hmm.
Even if you run for Congress, people are not going to find them.
Hmm.
It's like
Do you like
the
do you
amount
like
of
know that for a fact or
yes,
what?
I do, because a lot of people who eventually seek really high office, they they often fail in the analysis of like what's going to come out, you know?
Hmm.
And I've seen that to a degree from experience. Where people run for a higher office than they should because they have all this stuff behind them that never came up when they were just a congressman, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I will probably give it a shot at some point in my life.
And the bright spot is no matter how much junk you have on Twitter, that thing's, a sinking ship anyway, so you don't have to worry about that.
True. Elon's going bankrupt.
Yeah.
This is such a happy moment for me. I hate that guy.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh, he's so annoying and incredibly unfunny. Like
It's almost
impressively
painful. It's
unfunny.
almost painful. Like, in a way, if I could, I'd feel genuinely bad for the guy. He has no sense of humor.
Yeah. And he wants to so
I
badly.
know.
Like he tries so hard.
I know. It's like, say what you want about Jeff Bezos, and I hate Jeff Bezos, but at least he's comfortable where he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's not trying to prove stuff to people. He's just a divorced man who wants to be a supervillain. And he knows that.
Yeah.
Elon Musk
And
wants to be this, like, savior of humanity slash meme funny man, and that's never gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think Jeff Bezos has ever told a joke in his life.
No, but he
I
doesn't
don't
need, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if he like even understands the concept of comedy.
Right. But he's bald, so he's already funny.
That's all you have to do to be funny. Just
Yeah.
be bald.
It's
Jeff Bezos is like in the F tier of bald men, though.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like his baldness does a lot for him because it does help him look like a supervillain, especially when he's in like a giant robot or something.
True. Sometimes he's like uncomfortably bald, though.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some people that it's just like you're too bald.
I don't know. I think even the two bald look works well. Like, look at Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart is very, very bald. Like, he is just almost alien level hairless up there. But it works for him. Like, it fits.
Yeah,
It adds a sense of gravitas, you know?
yeah. Who's your favorite bald man?
That is a tough one. Probably, though, it's gonna be like a toss up between probably like Patrick Stewart and Gandhi, I feel like.
Gandhi. My favorite bald man was my dad. He was bald.
That's a good answer, though.
My mom likes some bald. I've
Yeah,
noticed.
she's a fan of the hairless.
Mm-hmm. Big fan of the hairless.
Oh, no, it's not ununderstandable. I can kind of see it.
Yeah. Kiss them on their little bald head.
All right, polish it up,
Yeah.
gives them a real sparkle, a real sheen in the sunlight.
Yeah. We didn't even mention it that much, but radical liberal Raphael Warnock won.
I was gonna say, and that's a good segue from where we were because, like many other great men throughout history, and many
He
other
is
winning
bald.
and like many winning Senate candidates this cycle, the man
Yeah.
is bald.
Yeah, it was. This was the age of bald, large men.
It was. It really was.
Like, sorry. Sorry, idiots, but the
No, and
big, bald man wins the race.
it's especially hard for me because I'm like 6 foot something, but I'm really skinny and I have lots of hair, and because of that, I know I'll never become a senator, and that's
Yeah,
my burden to bear.
you're not large and bald.
No, no, no.
I'm large, but I'm not bald.
Well, see, that's not so bad because being large is the hard part. Once you can always just shape your head, like that's doable.
Yeah. I don't know if the people like fake bald, though.
But can they tell?
They might if they like see old photos of you.
All right, so
You
what you do,
suddenly
you
have
gradually shave your hairline back, is what you
you fake male pattern baldness.
do. Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I like having hair though.
I really like having hair.
I think I would look great though with gray hair.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about going gray. Like, are you familiar with the painter Albrecht Dürer?
No, I'm not an art guy.
Right, so he's like the foundational figure of the German Renaissance.
Hmm.
He has a couple self portraits. My profile picture is often a picture of him. And that is my hair. Like that is pretty much what my hair is like. And like the idea of losing that 1080 degree is very painful.
Hmm. Yeah, that kind of hair, your hair, I don't think would look that great gray.
No, no, it wouldn't. It would lose
But
a lot of dimensionality.
I don't have like long hair. When my hair grows out, it just gets like really thick, and it kind of just stays like up top, never comes down.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the kind of hair that works with like
Yeah,
gray.
no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. It adds an air
And
of sophistication.
yeah, and that's what I'm all about, hairs of sophistication.
Hair sophistication is an important and underrepresented idea in today's day and age, especially among men. You know, I feel like men do not care enough about their hair.
True. Yeah,
Just like how
men.
men don't wear hats enough anymore.
I'm not a fan of hats, though.
I am a huge fan of hats. I have lots of hats, and I'm very much a fan of hats. I think that it should become like just socially required again for everyone in society to wear a hat when they go out.
Maybe if it was like a top hat, I
No,
wouldn't
see, that's
mind.
what I'm saying. Like, I think that everyone should have to wear hats, but you can wear whatever hat you wish. Give it some,
I
individuality.
I hate that the internet ruined fedoras.
They don't have to be ruined though. Like, bring it back. There is no higher mark of sophistication and civilization than that of wearing something on your head.
Yeah, I because I actually do like fedoras.
Wear a fedora. Own it. The hat makes the man. That's what I say.
uh, it's something about me. Like I don't wear rings, watches,
See, I'm with you so far.
necklaces.
Yep, yep, yep.
I should have glasses, but I don't wear those.
Oh, come on. Glasses. Glasses are another, like, mark of sophistication.
But the thing is, it like bothers me.
What you should do is be one of those people who only puts them on when they're handed something to read. I've always thought that was kind of cool. Like, oh, let me just look at this. Puts on glasses, peers over them. Like, I've always thought that was a cool little character detail that people can have.
I like that idea actually. and but also on the list is that I never wear a hat. I I don't even know if I own a hat. Like even a baseball cap, I don't know if I own one.
That needs to change, man. Like, I have three separate Sherlock Holmes style deerstalker caps that I pretty much wear all the time. Not all at
uh,
once, obviously.
no, you should wear them all at once.
I've done that occasionally, but it's not something that I normally do.
Hmm. Only for special occasions.
Exactly. It's like, I'm gonna have to pull out all the hats on this one. And I also have like a Western style, like black hat. That's pretty cool.
Hmm. Cowboy hats.
Yeah,
Very good style of hat.
very good style of hat.
Very good. I wish, you know what? I wish a lot of old clothes would come back.
You can make them come back. Just like order them online and wear them.
I want. I know this is like, oh, Ace Attorney guy, but I want a cravat.
Wear a cravat. Cravats need to come back. Let's look at Austin Powers. He made it work.
Yeah, I could. I can make it work if Austin Powers did. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and God, what are some other things that should come back? I want like dusters to come back.
Dusters should come back. Pocket watches should come back.
Pocket watches. Oh, I want a pocket watch.
I have a pocket watch and it is majestic.
I want a pocket watch in a suit so I can be on like a chain.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh,
then I just
exactly.
whip it out and look at it while someone's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I start like adjusting it. And then I flip it back and
Yep.
put it away. What about those glasses with the little chain
Oh yeah,
for
I like
them?
those. I like those.
The kind that like Teddy Roosevelt had, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I also kind of like the glasses that don't have any like bits whatsoever. They just fit over your nose. It's just the glasses part, and there's no like uh things to put on your ears or whatever.
Yeah, that feels like you're living dangerously though.
Again, it's one of those things where you can like put it on to read something.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, trying to think, how do you end a podcast?
Well, we could. I feel like the usual way to end it is to like, thank everyone involved and to plug, like whatever it is you're trying to sell, and then like, I don't know, include maybe a catchphrase or something, and then remind people to like and subscribe. And then like, call it good.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeeves.
Thank you,
You
Sonic
are.
Heely Gang. You're a wonderful host. You're a wonderful leader of the eponymous Heely Gang, and it's just been a real honor to be here, and I can't wait to do it again soon.
Yeah. I don't think this will be like a weekly thing, but I'll try to make it a consistent thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus, I feel like it's important at the end of the podcast to suggest that there will be more podcasts, whether or not you actually
Yes.
do it.
Yes, there will be more. There will be more podcasts. Do not worry. I know you would be lost without it.
Yep, people would. People would.
They'd be lost without my teachings.
Mm.
Alright, Jeeves, do you have anything to sell?
As a matter of fact, I do, Sonic. I
Hmm.
recently finished putting together a little project that I did most of the work for 2 years ago. And I only like randomly decided to finish it last night because I realized that the software didn't actually break down. The computer I had saved on was just really slow. So I threw it together and I called it good, and it is called Chewy, a Paul Hollywood music video tribute. Paul Hollywood is, as I'm sure you know, a celebrity chef and television personality, most famous for his role on the Great British Baking Show. And this is just sort of a little, music video tribute to him, which I edited together from clips off of YouTube and set to the song Chewy Chewy by the Ohio Express. And I'm sure there'll be a link to that in the description.
Oh, yes. Send it to me. I will 1000% link that. I might
Fantastic.
even put like an end card for it.
Yeah, do it. Do an end card. Do an end card. I have a really fun little thumbnail that I put together for it that I think I did a pretty good job with.
Oh, good. Good. Uh, as for me, like and subscribe. The only thing I have to sell is this YouTube channel, really. You could
Buy
give
it.
me money. Yeah,
Yeah,
buy this YouTube channel.
yeah. Give Sonic Constant Healer Gang over here lots of money, lots of love,
Yeah,
lots of support. He deserves it all, and he deserves lots of viewers. So, send it to friends, coworkers, managers. If you have a manager at work, send this podcast to them, and
yeah,
they'll be upset, and they'll send it to their supervisor or to the HR people to make sure that they can fire you for this. And in
yeah,
effect, what that will do is add more views to this video. So that would be great.
yeah. And if you're one of the supervisors watching this,
Thank you for listening to it all the way through. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure you have to watch every second of it to like see what exactly is wrong.
I appreciate how thorough you are.
Yeah, and fuck you. Um, uh, follow me on Twitter. Follow Jeeves on Twitter if
Yep.
you aren't already for some reason. And that's actually my Cash App is in my bio, so that's where you can send all your thousands of dollars to me.
Send lots of them. Send lots of them.
Send lots of money to me.
All
Uh,
right, I think
if
I
you're
think that
going
might.
if you're going through a divorce, you want to just funnel the money through me instead, I'm always here for you.
If you want a reason to get divorced, this could be a cool reason. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, let me if you want to hire me to like cause a reason for you to get to divorce, I'm also up for that too.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's lots of options. Sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah. Just we can talk about it.
All right.
All
Well, thank
right.
you again. This has been a great experience being here on the podcast, and
Yeah,
thank you so much.
what's the catchphrase though? What
Don't you have a
catchphrase?
catchphrase? I feel like you should have a catchphrase.
I said my catchphrase was what the heel, but that's like
Oh, you can
too
still.
situational.
No, you can end it. You can still end it on what the heel. You can say, "So this is Sonic Heely Gang, once again asking you, what the heel?" Musical like riff, and that's over.
Alright.
Try it.
And this is Sonic Heely Gang once again asking you, what the heel?